Hi, I'm V. In this video, I want to share with you why the HomeVestor franchise worked for me and how it has helped me to buy over 250 houses and counting. So one day I decided to get into this house buying business. So I spent 6 months researching before I bought my first HomeVestor franchise. Now fast forward 8 years later and 250 houses bought. I'm happy with my decision. So if you are new and you have no clue what I'm talking about, then this is what we do. We try to buy as many houses as we can and pay as low as we can, and then we either assign them, flip them, hotel them, or hold them as rental. To have a successful operations doing what we do, I come down to 3 major things that you will need. The first one would be an excellent lead generation system. The second thing you need is the skills for good conversion. Conversion rate is number of lead to number of closing, okay? And then last thing you need is good disposition process. I'm doing this video with the sole purpose of sharing different ways that you can get started in your real estate career. Maybe HomeVestor is for you, maybe it's not, but it's just something to consider, right? And if you are interested and you want to learn more, I'm happy to help you with any questions that you have. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so first let's talk lead generation. So we all know it's so many ways to generate leads, right? You can try referral, you can do direct mails, letters, postcards, door hangers, yard sign, billboards, TV ads, radio ads, internet ads. The key is how to know what's your cost per lead is, right? So how do you, how many piece of mail you have to send to generate X number of leads, and how often, and how is it gonna work, and how am I gonna be able to generate these leads consistently. So in this quest of doing my research, I line everything down, right? Okay, to do this, to do it on my own, it's gonna cost me a website, mail is gonna cost me this much. I don't know how it's gonna work, so I probably have to send out more than I think I need to. So I compared the 2 columns, me doing it myself versus me doing it with HomeVestors. After I did my math and my comparisons, it came down to, yes, I had to pay the HomeVestor franchise fee, and I'm gonna have to write check every month for advertising. But you know what it saved me? I didn't have to go do a bunch of trial and errors, right? I didn't have to wait 3 months to 6 months to start seeing the result of my marketing effort. And I knew fairly well, based on historical data, that if I was going to spend X in advertising, I'm gonna get Y in number of leads. So why reinvent the wheel? I can come into a system that already have the process in lead generation. So that was my research on lead generation.
This episode is brought to you by Buzz Vacation Rentals, a premier property management company in Houston and Galveston. Give Buzz a call today if you need help in managing your short-term and vacation rental properties at 281-549-8432 or visit their website at buzzvacationsrentals.com. Now back to the Real Estate Baller Show.
Now let's talk about the next big part is conversion. Conversion is, for example, if I receive 100 leads and I buy 10 houses, that means I have a 10% conversion ratio. And this is considered a good ratio. Average, maybe 5%. And, if you're below average, that means you don't have good closing ratio, right? So you got to work on closing ratio. So closing the deals, meaning I got to be able to sit down in front of the sellers, listen to them, find out what their pain, their needs are, help them with that area, all of the while figuring out how much repairs the house will need, and what am I going to offer, all in the 1 hour that I'm sitting here with the seller. Now, it sounds easy and simple, but it's actually not that easy, right? I had no real estate experience. So how was I going to know what to offer? Well, when I joined in the HomeVestor system, I was assigned a development agent, and that is a form of a coach or a mentor. So my development agent took me on a few by appointments. I got to see how things work, and then I was taught how to estimate repairs, and I was taught how to calculate my offers. Now, at the end of the day, it was my decision on what to offer on that house, right? So whatever the number was, I always went a little bit lower just because I was so new and I was so scared to lose money and make mistake. And I was lucky, I bought my house pretty quickly in my first month in the business. Or maybe it was my charm. So that's the part with conversion. How good you are in front of the seller so that it helps you to spend less money on advertising and still close more deals. If you enjoyed this episode so far, do hit that like and subscribe button now so that we can keep giving you tips on real estate investing. Okay, the last major big portion of being successful with the house buying operation is the disposition. Disposition is how you sell the house, right? How you dispose of the house. Remember what I said earlier. You buy a property or you get a property under contract. You either can assign, you can wholesale, you can hotel, or you can flip, or you can hold for rental. Okay, so those are way you dispose of a property that we buy. So unless you have a lot of money stashed away, you will need to sell these houses that you are buying fast to recoup the money that you spend on advertising and to make a profit, right? So being a part of the HomeVestor group, I have instant access to buyers, my other fellow franchisee, right? And I know they wouldn't steal my deals because you hear story all the time. You're trying to wholesale and next thing you know, someone trying to go around you and trying to steal your deal from you. So that's one thing. The other thing is I know these people will close, right? So that's my safety net in a way. And should I choose to flip or rehab or hold the house, I also have access to the network of contractors that the other franchisees have been using already. So, that they refer me to so that I can use them on my rehab as well. You keep the property to build long-term wealth, but you flip or you sell the property to turn and to pay the bills, right? So the faster you sell them, the more profit you could potentially make. So that has to do with the disposition. Those are the three major areas where the HomeVestor franchise has helped me in my career. Now, I started my HomeVestor franchise in 2014. I bought my first house that same month of May and sold it in June. So that was not the norm. That got me addicted. And I'm still in it 8 years later and still buying houses. Now, the other perks is we also have access to a huge network of other franchisees from all over the nation. So when I run into an issue, when I have questions, I can always pick up the phone and call somebody. And I'm pretty sure I'll find an answer. If you enjoyed this episode, I highly recommend you to watch How to Become a Millionaire Through Real Estate Investing. And please don't forget to give it a thumb up and share this episode with your friends or colleagues who might also be benefited from this insight that I'm sharing with you today. And of course, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more great content on real estate investing and other exciting topics. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.